Mechanical aids. The first type of ergogenic aid is a mechanical aid. Mechanical aids are designed to help athletes improve their performance. They include specially designed clothing, sports equipment, and physical devices that may be connected to the body, such as heart rate monitors. The mechanical aid that I'm going to be focusing on is a parachute. According to Harvard 2012, running parachutes are small nylon parachutes which attach to your body by Velcro straps, either at your waist or your chest, allowing them to expand as you run. Running parachutes are used within training so that athletes can work on developing their speed alongside their strength. Using the parachute quickly helps athletes develop strength as they are working against resistance. This is an advantage for athletes such as the heptathlete, because being able to generate more power will prove useful in their sprint starts of the 100-metre hurdles and the 200 metres. If they can generate more speed off the blocks, they are likely to get ahead quicker in the race, improving their time and chances of winning. There are many different sized parachutes, meaning that it's important to choose the right one for the type of sport that you're training for. Parachutes can start from around £12, however this price increases depending on the size and quality that you get. Being this price, it leaves this type of training very accessible to all athletes if they wish to use it, which is another advantage to them. Harvard 2012 also suggested that linking your body frame and type to the resistance. For example, if you have a small stature and at less than 170 pounds, you should use the smallest parachute size available. However, if you're a larger frame, for example being taller, you should use a bigger size as this adds around 30 pounds of resistance. You should begin smaller but you'll work your way up the sizes depending on how quickly your body is adapting to using the parachute and how fit you are. This is because you don't want to damage your muscles and bones if you are trying to work with too much resistance, as in the long term this will impact your training even more. Brady 2013 ran an experiment to see how using a parachute impacted sprint training. The first study was a 50-metre sprint using a parachute as resistance. Athletes had to train 3 times a week for 4 weeks, being attached to a large parachute. There were 2 different groups who took part, one who used resistance and the other who didn't. After 4 weeks, he found that the resisted group had improved their 0 to 20 metre sprint speed by 3.3%. Whereas the group who didn't use a resistance parachute only improved by 1.8%. The rest of the distance after this developed no change. This shows that when training using a parachute, it quickly helps to develop instant speed, which means it's beneficial for helping sprinters get out the blocks faster. As you train against the resistance, your body has to adapt to how it works so you can still run quickly with it attached to you. Therefore, when you remove the resistance and sprint without it, your body uses its physiological adaptations to allow you to peak at a maximal speed within the first 20 metres. One physiological factor that adapts by using mechanical aid is your muscle fibres. When you train using resistance, micro tears occur in the fibres of your muscles, meaning they are temporarily weakened. However, as the tears heal, the size and strength of the muscles increases. This means that you are then able to generate more force and power as your muscles contract. This is important for a heptathlete in their sprinting events because if they can win most of their events, it puts them at a higher chance of winning the overall title. On the same study from Harvard 2013, it suggested that due to the increase of power and strength in the muscles, if you were one stride behind your competitors before training, using a parachute for only 4 weeks, you could be next to them or in front of them, depending on how quickly your body adapts and how often you train using it. Although there are advantages to this type of training, such as it being cost-efficient, legal, and also has quick benefits to the athlete, there is also a disadvantage. According to Livestrong.com, if you use the running parachute regularly during training, it can really affect your posture and your technique during your sprinting events. When running against resistance, it is common to bend your back more into a hunch shape and you may look down towards the floor more. This is because you are running against something which is acting as your resistance or weight holding you back. Therefore, to generate more power to try and overcome it, your posture automatically changes to be more rounded. However, for a sprinter, it is important their technique and posture is tall and straight on. This is because if you run bent over, there is a greater risk of injury, but also your speed that you can generate is affected. Running in a more hunched position causes you to not be able to use your arms as efficiently to pump as you run. Your arms should be moving back and forward at an equal angle of a straight line when you run, and as side-to-side movements are what causes you to slow down. Another posture factor is affected by using running parachute is the movement of your legs. As a sprinter, you should move your knees high up when you bend the leg. This generates more power and also allows you to cover more ground quickly. However, when you are running with the resistance, it is harder to make natural sprinting movements as you are being held back by something. This usually means that you cannot flex and extend your joints fully. Therefore, if the heptathlete was going to use running parachutes as their mechanical aid, it is important that they train with it regularly, but also without it, so they can still work on their posture and form, allowing them to learn how to generate more speed and force with muscular contractions, but in a way that is correct and also safe for them.